Hello everyone, thanks for dropping by. If you've been following the relevant news about the marriage industry, you know that it's been in decline for the last several years. The same is also said for the divorce industry. Well, you could say that in regard to the divorce industry, some women that is, are holding the cards close to their chest and they're going to see if the good times return before they start to monkey branch to a guy with more resources than the one that they're currently with. But one industry that doesn't seem to be in decline at all is the dating industry via dating apps. So looking around, I have found this. As you can see, it's a site called CloudWards, and as you can see, it's the dating statistics for 2022, and there's 25 of them. One of the main things that stuck out from a MGTOW perspective is that it's not as rosy as what this article says. But before that, the main thing is it makes a lot of money, i.e. $5.61 billion last year alone. But if you go down, you'll see what percentage of online daters actually do go all the way and get married. And only 14%. Now, if you click on that, which I did earlier, you get a site called Bustle, and this was written 14th of March 2017, or before MGTOW really got going. And get rid of that. Now, as you can see, the number of dating app users worldwide has gone from 240 to 323 million. But that's not really much, that's only a quarter. You would think with the popularity of dating apps it would be way here, maybe double or treble that what it was in 2016. Also, the percentage of Americans who have used dating sites. The vast majority of Americans have never used a dating site. These used to use a dating site. There could be a lot of MGTOWs in this, but actually on dating sites, it's only 19% of Americans. Now, in the age groups, it says those are 18 to 29 years old are using it. I can't understand why. People in their prime years don't really need electronic means to meet somebody. They all need to do is go to places where people of that age group mingle. That's how it used to be. Now, the homosexual alphabet community people tend to use dating sites more than the straight people, but then that says more about them than it does the dating sites, whereas 55% of homosexuals and the alphabet people can't really meet other people like them because there are so few of them, as in only 2% of the American population do belong to that group. So you could say there's some logic in 55% of them actually using it. Now, when it comes to race, it's fairly equal. It doesn't say whether it's male or female. The 31% of black people in America use it, but I would imagine a large percentage of them are black women and not black men. And I don't really know much about the Hispanic content of America, so you can take that 28% as a moot point. Now, 42% of online dating users aim for marriage. Now, which is that, men or women? It doesn't really say. Only 13% of online dating users got engaged or married from a dating platform. Now, look at that 13%. Well, that 13% is 13% of 19%. So that shows how small the actual people are that use it. 30% get engaged. 23.7% claim they've never had more than one date or two. That's this. Is that women ghosting the guys because he doesn't come up to her expectations? 54% of online dating said the US relationships that come from online dating are just as successful as ones that begin in person. But 54% of what percent? There's more successful. There's only 5%. And remember, it's only 19% of people actually on the sites. 26% of online daters aren't looking for a commitment. Is that guy looking to just pump and dump? 90% of online date users talk to 11% or more people. I would imagine that's women. 28% of men and 34% week matches in person for at least one date. Again, women are more likely to care about profile information than men. Now, this bit is interesting. 27% of women and 8% of men are curious about the other person's occupation. As we've all heard before, the first question they ask you, what do you do for a living? 29% of online dating users meet matches right away. And then it goes on and on and on. Now, all this statistics I've double checked, and it comes, most of it, from this article, Pew Research Center, 10 Facts About Americans and Online Dating. It goes into more detail, but the thing which stuck me out, women are more likely than men to categorize certain information as essential to see in other users' profiles. And there's the occupation, 8% of women, 20% of men. If I went back, where are we? Sorry about this, people. Nuts. Here we go. No. Never mind. And there's a stark different amount of attention online data say they receive on these sites or apps. Now here's men and there's women. Not enough messages. A vast majority of men. Too many messages. 30% of women, only 6% of men. Women get more messages than guys. Young women are especially likely to report having troublesome interaction with online dating platforms. Then it goes into details. Americans have varying views about the safety of online dating. And more than half of Americans say relationships that begin on a dating site or app are just as successful as those that begin in person. Now, from a MGTOW perspective, it's not really having much effect, because I found this. How many men would have to go MGTOW in order for it to severely impact the dating market? And then this bit is interesting. It gives 5 replies. This one, women mistakenly think that their value goes up on the dating market the older they get and the more money they make. If they have kids, the man will not even be a priority. If they're too old, he may never have children with her. If they have baggage, the man will have to carry it, and doing so will make him miserable. If they're too successful, like him, they have the same traits as what he's got. This muscular energy is a turn-off for men. Men want women that are feminine, the same way a woman who acts in ways that society describes as feminine. Women don't want girly men. They want men to be men. And then this guy, he gone on Pew Research Center because these graphics are similar. He says that MGTOWs are only 0.0026% of the world's population. Well, that's a moot point because nobody really knows how many guys around the world are MGTOWs. Because MGTOWs in general don't proclaim the fact that they are. They just get on with their life. As in men going their own way. In other words, looking after themselves. But Claire Jordan, she worked for the NHS. She studied at University of Edinburgh. I suppose somebody had to. She says the sort of men who join MGTOW are men no woman would want anyway. And homosexuals probably won't care whether they're MGTOW or not. Well, if a guy's a multi-millionaire, does that mean, and he was a MGTOW, does that mean women wouldn't want him? Anyway, I just thought I'd bring this thing I've not covered before to your attention. It's interesting, but it gives a distorted view of how successful dating is, because that is the only statistic that actually is being used on dating sites. Is only 19%, whereas 54% of people never use a dating site, me being one of them. And the statistics, they are such a small percentage of the population, as in 1 to 2% max, that 55% of 1.2% means only a tiny percentage of homosexuals actually use dating sites. And the people who get married and are engaged are only 13.6%. So MGTOWs don't really have much to worry about, because dating apps are just a money-making thing for people who are not really serious about getting married, and it might be booming, but I suspect that eventually it'll start to decline like the marriage rate and divorce rate. Anyway, I think we're on the 10-minute now, maybe a little bit more, so I'll wrap it up now. You know the routine, people: like, dislike, comment, subscribe, etc. It's completely up to you. So until Monday, I might do another one on this if I find more information, but for now, that's it for this one. Bye-bye.